won't talk about this story. From the corner of his business in a nondescript strip mall, a taxpayer is busy typing to elected officials in Sarasota City Hall. This is Martin Hyde, one of the most critical residents of city government in general, and Commissioner Susan Chapman in particular. What do you say to those who think you just don't like Susan Chapman?
I don't like or dislike Susan Chapman. She refuses to talk to anybody that doesn't agree with her. The fact is, we don't need to spend this money.
The money Hyde is referring to is the legal fees Chapman continues to bill to fend off a lawsuit from a group called Citizens for Sunshine. In layman's terms, the suit is about Chapman and fellow Commissioner Suzanne Atwell both being at a meeting at this restaurant over 2 years ago without the public properly being notified, as Florida's Sunshine Law requires. The group also sued Atwell, who agreed to pay a fine, not admit guilt, and as she said to us recently, released the taxpayers from being taken for an expensive ride.
And if you go all the way to the Supreme Court, that'll get into millions of dollars. To me, I can't. That to me is an egregious use of our taxpayer dollars.
But Chapman chose to stand on principle, and City Attorney Robert Fournier told us in this email that stance is now costing Sarasota taxpayers $250,000 and counting since the case hasn't gone to trial.
And certainly there'll be expenses incurred in connection with the conduct of the trial.
We asked Chapman for an interview on this topic on a recent day without even specifying a time, but she emailed back one line, "I have a previous commitment." Here's what she said previously about using tax dollars to defend herself. Why don't you use your own money for this?
Because being elected representative, I was only there as an elected representative to listen to the citizens.
We also asked Sarasota's mayor to talk to us about the issue, but his assistant wrote back saying he declined to meet regarding the subject. But there is some good news for taxpayers. This situation can never happen again. After this suit happened, the commission voted to buy insurance to protect themselves from this kind of lawsuit. Any idea how much that insurance policy is costing taxpayers?
Well, first of all, let me tell you the coverage under it is for $2 million, and the annual premium is $78,000. But that's not as bad as it sounds, because it was simply a replacement of the policy that the city had that covered the city as an entity, and there was additional coverage added that would cover city commissioners under these circumstances.
Insurance is for those that anticipate needing it. It's an expense that I don't believe that we need to sustain.
And Hyde says if Chapman loses this suit, she should resign.
And if she won't resign, I and a group of other individuals in the city are going to attempt a legal recall.
And once again, we tried talking to Susan